Dear learners, welcome you all to this module, that is Teachers Training Through Distance Education. Following are two main objectives of this module: to identify the concept of teacher education, to know about teacher training through distance education. Let us begin with a famous quotation by Sir John Adams that states, "Teacher is a maker of men." This proverb implies that teachers mold the habits, tastes, and character of the students or the learners by imparting useful knowledge and information in their chosen fields. For the purpose of discharging their duties effectively, teachers have to possess certain qualities like a good academic background, professional efficiency and commitment, strong personality, etc. Moreover, a teacher should have the competency to perform various functions like planning, organizing, supervising, guiding, evaluating, recording, and so on. However, to become professionally competent, teachers themselves require some kind of molding. As rightly said by Rabindranath Tagore, that a teacher can never truly teach unless he is still learning himself. We can infer that training becomes necessary for the teacher from this. Since teaching is considered as an art as well as a science, the teacher has to acquire not only knowledge but also skills that are called tricks of the trade. According to some researchers, the lack of teachers' education has resulted in deterioration of quality in education and motivational crisis among the students. Teachers' education enhances the educator's grasp on pedagogical teaching and classroom management strategies like effective methods of instruction, understanding diverse needs of students, etc. It helps the teacher in providing light to formulation of curriculum. Teacher's training enables him or her to develop professional ethics, both behavioral and in classroom, by efficiently diffusing developed techniques and tools. In case of distance learning, training through such platforms has even more benefits. Distance learning provides the educator with flexible, self-paced learning environments without physical attendance. Such platforms transcend geographical barriers and are cost-effective. Moreover, online training programs open opportunities for global networking and collaboration where best practices and exchange of knowledge takes place. In the following section, we will discuss about the significant role of teachers in our society since ancient times. Teachers were regarded as second to God. They were termed as gurus who worked with a sense of self-fulfillment and self-realization to remove darkness from the society. Their position was superior to everyone. Even the kings used to sit at their feet. Although the teachers no longer enjoy the same position of being second to God today, it cannot be denied that in the emerging Indian society, they have been playing a very pivotal role in social reconstitution and transmission of wisdom. Knowledge and experience from one generation to another is propagated by them. Regarding the role of teachers in society, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan has aptly remarked, "The teacher's place in society is of vital importance. He acts as the point for the transmission of intellectual tradition and technical skill from generation to generation and help to keep the lamp of civilization burning." Kothari Education Commission said that the destiny of India is now being shaped in her classrooms. From this, we can imply that a teacher can pave the way for progress of civilization in all developmental aspects of a nation through guiding students in a positive way. They must be able to play multifarious roles according to the demand of the situation, such as that of a social leader, decision maker, peace setter, advisor, and so on. Moreover, the 21st century society is characterized by explosions. Explosion of knowledge, explosion of technology, explosion of expectations, explosion of population, etc. As a result, there have been fast changes in the socio-economic fabric of the people and their lives. Thus, these changes in society's life demands corresponding changes in education, and as a consequence, the role of teacher has become inherently challenging in today's context. The Indian society that is characterized by people with different socio-economic background, culture and ethos, the welfare and development of everyone irrespective of caste, class, gender and beliefs is a necessity. Youths in our society are considered assets of development as the country has 54% of population below the age of 25. They can bring vibrant economic growth to the country through their intellectual power. Our society has young age population, the school going population within that age, the level of workforce in that period are considered important for the whole country. If the proper form of skill-based learning could be given to them, then they would contribute a lot to the knowledge-enabled population in the country. It is against this background that the role of teachers in building a society devoid of social unrest, corruption, and all kinds of social evils is important. In this section, dear learners, we are going to discuss about the challenges faced by teachers or educators while imparting education. We have already discussed that education plays a pivotal role for the progress of any nation in the world. Today's children are future's administrators. Therefore, it is challenging yet very important to have an enlightened, competent and emancipated teacher force that can meet the aspirations of the society by providing quality education to the learners. This will be possible only if teachers are well trained through effective teacher education programs. Nowadays, the demand of teacher training cannot be fulfilled by formal teacher training institutions only, which is why distance mode of learning has come into play. Innovative techniques are essential as students receive proper direction in their life and can shape their future through their guidance. Such special responsibility of the teacher makes training very imperative. Since the present knowledge-based era has shifted from a teacher-centered approach to a learner-centered discourse in which the role of teacher is a facilitator, he or she not only guides the learners but also facilitates the requirements which are necessary for effective learning by a student. The methods and techniques of learning have been changing from time to time. For a constructive classroom teaching, the dynamic personality of a teacher is of utmost importance for keeping the needs and requirements of the students in school or any other educational institution alive. The development of life skills and soft skills among the youth is an urgent requirement for a country like ours. These types of skills can be ensured through proper education only. Here, the teachers have to play a major role for increasing the productivity level of the youths as well as the learners. Therefore, teachers should be well equipped with the up-to-date knowledge and skills so that they can properly steer the youth and students and make them capable for living a decent life. Educational reformer John Dewey said, "If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rob them of tomorrow." It eloquently points out that we need to prepare ourselves not for yesterday, not for today, but for tomorrow. In order to do that, it is important that we, as teachers, acquire certain skills that will help us to prepare our students survive in the future world. But how do we prepare ourselves for future and survive a future world for our next generation? The answer is to gain certain skills, or rather what we may call as 21st century skills. These skills include 5 C's such as communication skills, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and character. And in this context, the role of training and education play a pivotal role in terms of developing such cognitive, socio-emotional, technical, and digital skills of an individual. In today's competitive world, the existence of a teacher is based on his or her performance towards teaching. The quality of teachers can be judged by their students only. Therefore, the personality of a teacher speaks a whole lot of things. The behavior and attitudes of a teacher towards the students, their cooperation with the students, their proper guidance to the students, and their techniques of teaching determine the existence as well as the success of the teachers. Hence, the teachers must have the adequate knowledge of the particular topic before teaching, because students are very much up to date and well informed in terms of their courses or programs in which they are enrolled. Moreover, teachers should have the capacity to handle such students and motivate them to learn. In fact, teachers should be well trained, efficient, and they should be able to encourage the students to develop physically, mentally, socially, and emotionally, guiding them through different curricula and non-curricular activities. Technological efficiency is another most important skill that a teacher must possess. In the present time, the Open Educational Resources or OERs and MOOCs have initiated the open knowledge movement in the entire world. The sources of different educational websites like National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology, NCERT under Swayam platform, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, National Knowledge Network, and many other websites of different universities where educational materials are openly released are just some tools that help the teachers as well as the learners to learn more about the fast changing world. The very recent NEP 2020 mentioned about teacher education as vital in creating a pool of school teachers that will shape the next generation. Teacher preparation is an activity that requires multidisciplinary perspectives and knowledge, formation of dispositions and values, and development of practice under best mentors. Teachers must be grounded in Indian values, language, knowledge, ethos, and traditions, including tribal traditions, while also being well versed in latest advances in education and pedagogy. In the following section, we will briefly discuss about various platforms and sources of online learning other than the government ones. There are various graduate and undergraduate courses and diplomas which are launched by various private as well as public educational institutions and universities. The courses like Guidance and Counseling, Diploma in Teacher Training Programs can be mentioned in this connection. These courses aims at preparing guidance personnel who will be equipped with developing skills to guide and counsel the students so that they can cope with their educational, career, and personal social needs. These courses upgrades the skill of the teachers and acquaints them with the need-based techniques in order to enable them to motivate the students to learn. These training courses also help the teachers in giving the guidance to the students in terms of promoting national and international understanding, harmony and peace among them through the exchange of ideas and experiences related to human growth and adjustment in different cultural perspectives. Besides, another objective of these courses include reducing wastage and stagnation of students in schools and to open up different opportunities in the teaching profession in various institutes or organizations for those who desire to be teachers. The need of such training courses can be applied for the teachers both at pre-service and in-service levels for the elementary, secondary as well as higher level of education. Now we are going to discuss about some teacher training programs through distance education. 21st century teacher training expects that a teacher has to be equipped with the innovative approaches and latest skills to face the new age classrooms confidently. Teachers are considered the most important resource because they tend to influence the young minds and foster a holistic development of the young learners. With the advancement of technology, the physical boundaries of traditional teacher education classrooms have been blurred and aspiring teachers are no longer confined to brick and mortar teaching training institutions. With the advancement of technology, the physical boundaries of traditional teacher education classrooms have been blurred, and aspiring teachers are no longer confined to brick and mortar teacher training institutions. Their reach has extended far beyond to different parts of the world. Teacher training through distance education is making its presence felt and also gaining popularity. The history of distance education in India dates back to 5 decades. Education Commission 1964-66 recommended starting supplementary channels for clearing the backlog of untrained teachers through summer courses, vacation courses, part-time courses, and correspondence courses. Correspondence courses were introduced in mid-60s. It was considered suitable especially for the teachers of the secondary school age. In order to institutionalize this mode of teacher training, in 1966, the Central Institute of Education, then a constituent of NCERT, started a B.Ed program through the correspondence cum contact mode. The Central Institute of Education and the 4 regional colleges of education, now Regional Institute of Education, have since given up the program. Their involvement along with their academic credibility were instrumental in making programs of secondary school teacher education through the correspondence mode more widespread. An expert committee appointed by National Council for Teachers Education under the chairmanship of Professor R.C. Das 1995 viewed that if part-time face-to-face institutional programs are equivalent to face-to-face full-time institutional programs in their total duration of instruction, programs and academic staff support and other infrastructures as per National Council for Teachers Education norms, then NCTE may consider their recognition after obtaining detailed information from these institutions. Here, these institutions are the distance learning institutions. The institutions of correspondence courses and now their improved forms such as distance education represent steps of making teacher education more responsive to field needs. However, recent trends towards developing open and distance learning system showcases efforts to explore more varied and effective modes of curriculum transaction of teacher education program. The National Council of Teacher Education (NCTE) now recognizes open and distance learning as a viable mode of imparting teacher education program. Albert Einstein remarked that those who educate children well are more to be honored than parents, for these only gave life, those are the art of living. From the quotation, importance of teachers' role in students' life can be implied. There is always a debate regarding the remarkable performance of private schools as compared to the government schools in terms of curriculum coverage and co-curricular activities, even if the percentage of trained teachers is comparatively lower in private schools than in the government schools. The private schools also enforce better discipline and the teachers play a great role for all-round development of the students. Thus, it reflects the fact that although training is essential, what requires is the greater accountability on the part of the teacher towards their services. Teachers of any background should provide outlet to the pent-up desires of the learners in the form of guidance and support. Since community participation is an important factor in educational world, teachers should encourage their students to associate themselves with community life through their endearing efforts. Meeting teachers who are morally, socially, and emotionally attached to their professions and discharge their obligations in keeping with the standards of the professional ethics and are always ready to provide all possible help and voluntary services for the betterment of the students is always a pleasurable experience. Dear learners, with that we have come to the last stage of today's topic. From the discussion, we got to know that teachers' education is the essence to shaping competent, informed educators who would in turn contribute to success and well-being of the students and the education system as a whole. Before concluding, let us brush up what we discussed so far. We began by a brief introduction on importance of teachers' education, followed by a brief discussion on historical account of how teachers and the profession of teaching has evolved with respect to Indian society. Further, we talked about challenges of teaching, followed by various governmental, non-governmental and distance learning platforms for teachers to access the courses provided by them. Dear learners, with that we have come to the end of today's topic. Thank you all so much for your valuable time.